Alright, Guardians, this sticks for you. And here, let's look at this hot fucking mess right here real quick. You know what that is? Looks good. This is the general system for the ASVAB. This is the standard model that says this is the general test that describes what that is. So there's going to be some general sciences before we get into heavy-duty mechanics here. But here I wrote this down. Why is this so interesting? Because I want to parallel this test. What do you mean? At any point in time, you should be able to throw down for the tread saw some general science questions that come up. Now, 11 minutes to talk about that subject matter or actually work out the mathematical problem might be an issue, but we can design it in such a way that the informational science is on there, you know, home life, numbers for the Masons, whatever you're running down inside of here. And so I just changed out the orientation. I just lined everything up a little bit better, you know, in terms of, yeah, it's in there, do the math. Kind of gives you an idea. I got to be running one of these a little bit better than one every 30 seconds on system, but I don't know if the system's one I can run through and then go back through the answers that I need to do. I don't know. That's not on the loop. So right off the hop, you would want to make it clean. You would want to make this 22 questions to 11 minutes, so that way it's nice and clean. 30 seconds. Get the facial recognition software to kind of go through the system, look into the eye exam, do it, so I can actually register what I'm looking at, where you need skills with arithmetic reasoning under the idea. Now again, the heavy-duty problem, who is in charge of law on that one to determine what are arithmetic connections, A plus B in the stone mill, of general organization and programming of what those saws. Meanwhile, we have never left the stone mill inside of there for that company. And can I arbitrarily, is there something in the contextual of how long it takes to rationalize reason? 1 Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3 Mississippi, 4 Mississippi, 5 Mississippi. Test 2, arithmetic reasoning on AR 30 questions of 36 minutes. And, you know, it's right there that took me 5 seconds just to be able to read that question. So that if in this case, I got 20 seconds to register what numbers I'm looking at here. Hopefully most of that processed in there to make that determination on the test of the output. Now, what are they looking for the upland index? Could just be random gravity. If I arbitrarily design it to do that, it'll do a thing. But if I arbitrarily design it to do many things, it'll do many things inside of there. Given catch a 4 on an ASVAB, given just being this, it's limited housing, I still have a graphing index of what actions at spooky distance on the Einstein cross we might be dealing with and how long it actually takes to do one of those a minute. Maybe you look at it, maybe they give you a little bit more, a minute and change here, a minute and a quarter, 20 seconds, something, whatever. Do some, you know, you're in the wheelhouse because it closes off at this approximation, but on the weekly, hourly, monthlies of things, that thing starts to stretch out and is different given, you know, I got to be able to slam this. I got to read the whole paragraph, whether it's this one, because paragraphs are abrupt inside of their algebraic word knowledge, letter to the law. Here, some basic design system of the paragraph comprehension. So really I have to read this, and they can get pretty fucking comprehensive. Like, I need to know every number in here, and they add together differently, not just, alright, Tom, Betty, and Jody, math, physics, and astrology, a preacher, a Muslim, and a gunnery sergeant walk into a bar, giving me my paragraph comprehension on mathematical knowledge of what this statement kind of correlates to 1 a minute. Maybe not too bad inside of there, but you would certainly want to go 1 a fucking minute instead of compressing it any farther than what it is to drop out a result that says some weird-ass number as a fraction. Kids are going to take it, some are going to get, 12 or 13 right, but realistically inside of there, it's an indicator of some standard models inside of there that base that information. Now, after those 5 steps, usually one carries close to 3 or 5 or whatever. General science is arithmetic, reasoning, and word knowledge compressed into one state. You know, given the 4, the 3, alright, so whatever. It gives you Ben Eater over here on Pythagorean, or not Pythagorean, but polynomials to compress this code in some way, where I'm changing the zeros from over here with some long division, or in this case dimensional analysis, where I'll take out the averages and I'll see what cleans out real nice and just let you try to figure out that problem. I'm not going to give you the answers, the minutes, but oh yeah, I need 1 to 1 on this one, 2 to 1 on this one. So how I read out early into this question is hit the ones you know first, come back through it, and then work the ones you don't, because it's actually the fastest way to deal with it. It's the fastest way. If you blow through this, don't know, That's how I want you trained from the recruiter station looking at the guy. Why? Because it's more prevalent, and I'm not gonna do it. We're gonna do this practice time a couple of times, and then I'm gonna show you once. Yep. Then you want to skip over that. Then you're gonna do it practice on your own, where you kind of blow through it like that. Maybe I dust you off or something. Then I practice you for this, what would be more in depth towards that same question or a different field in orientations or positions. And now from there, I can take that random test as a recruiter or a manager or whatever might be congruent in the paragraph, comp, word knowledge, algebraic reason here, arithmetic reasoning here. For electronical circuits, E0, E1. Now, that one did it like that. It needs to file off into this because a 4 on an ASVAB files to no wrong on neural net. Two wrong is the right answer. 2 wrong would correlate to you got to go over here, or MOS is under the detail when I get back to the home local systems on auto shop and information, this AS. MR video here, mathematical reasoning, sounding a certain way, and kind of it works. It helps with the absorption on everything in here, and then the mechanical comprehension on that. So yeah, you see the machine work, you're in the stone mill, it works great for you, and then there's a difference of how do I then, it's supposed to output treads, but I can also get it to output fallovium, given this calcium-plutonium reaction happening here. And in the electrical circuitry that is actually still printed out in the same 1010 code. Violations can be delayed in some cases. Okay, so at any rate, inside of there, it's something you want to think about. Well, why the design on that? If practical, of the X gate, XOR gate inside here, on why that works that way, or why you would have it designed that way. You know, if it's 25 random questions, then it's going to have a comprehension limit of a very specific size. You know, hitting somebody on the question, no, how come? So there's a smallest distance, H for Planck. And, well, what would be the smallest variable on time? IH. The value in here would go, mathematically we do that instead of integrating a common science that you know that might run the gambit of a specific space that needs scaling, that has different platforms of those scales, that have different operations and mechanical comprehensions. Accordingly, would be a great statement for the orchestra out there while dealing with perfect pitch and Beethoven. Salty over here dealing with his deal. Now, again, I just wanted that to be a referenceable idea inside here. When you're thinking about Jordan Peterson being a gatekeeper for the IQ science and talking about the top 83 or 87 is the you're functionally retarded at that point in time if you can't get that question. Now, I've never passed this test, so therefore I qualify as 0. The second I take it, though, you need a basic training on that. Now, I don't know whether they use practice, ASVAB skills, studying techniques, or anything like that, but that sounds pretty apt to a position. If at the end of that I looked at it from the recruiter standpoint of it and I said, well, that's going to be about training. It certainly seems about easy here to get him to take information and lead if one of those situations, which they should. We're not even arguing if in that variable would be a known standard of, we all kind of know Bell and Salty and field theory, Copenhagen, Minkowski in space, wherever that might be, for Ben Eater or some Q25, or you wanted to get into AR 620 for Sharps and the Chaplin up here, given, well, at any rate, catch you on the next one.